Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Welcome back to Forever Conscious Research Channel. Just as a reminder, this channel is for educational purposes only. It's always important to do your own research and come up with your own conclusions. And we've got a live in-person show this evening, and we're going to try to do it right, and hopefully it comes out okay. Hello, Twisted Reality, Ed, Eli. Good to see you, my friend. And we have Dave Rollman from the Rollman Revolution joining live in person. Be sure to check out his channel. We have True Detective Season 1 live in person. And we have Beyond Zebra, which is Ryan. Be sure to check out his channel as well. Great to see y'all. Welcome aboard. And it's just going to kind of be an open discussion, and hope that you enjoy the stream. So the topics are kind of predetermined, but also open-ended. So however this all goes, it goes. What ifs are a big one, right? It's something that I see regularly on the channel. Was Earth hijacked? That's another one I see regularly on the channel. People questioning, hey, it was Earth hijacked? And Paranoia, also related to the soul trap, and oh, can I get out of here? Can I do this? Can I do that? And will I be okay? I think paranoia is a big problem within the soul trap community. And we're able to do a lot more than we give ourselves credit for. And this system is determined to make us feel powerless. And that goes and links right into the what ifs part of everything. And so without further ado, I want to welcome Dave, welcome Dawn, and welcome Ryan. It's great to have you all. Welcome aboard. I'm not getting you guys on mic. Hold on. Can you just talk one more time?
Hello, everybody.
Okay, there we go. Okay, yep. Not hearing you. I'm sorry, not hearing you, Dawn.
Hello, last timers.
Hearing her. Not hearing her.
Hello.
There we go. Okay. Ryan, you want to try your mic?
Howdy, y'all.
Okay, okay, there we go. All right, so this is the first time I've ever done this, guys, and it's an in-person group chat, so hopefully we're not plagued with technical difficulties, but if you've been around long enough on this channel, you know that this is what we deal with. So I want to open up the podcast tonight with the question of, was Earth hijacked? What do you guys think of that? Dawn?
I personally think that it's always been this way.
Okay.
I don't know if there has been a hijacking at any point, but as far as I can see, it's designed exactly the way it was meant to be designed.
Okay. Yeah. And Dave, your thoughts?
I take a little different approach, probably
Sure.
because I look at history a little bit, or what I can see with my own eyes.
Can you get close to the mic?
Sorry,
I'm
can you
sorry.
hear me now?
Yeah.
How about now? Better?
Yeah. Can you rewind just about 10 seconds?
Yeah. No, I look at things a little bit differently because I try to look at the history as much as what I can see and with my own eyes. So basically, I look at like historical buildings that were here. It looks like communities in the past were a little bit more connected. Like living inside your quarters wasn't the most important thing. Like everybody went to a community center where they, kind of learned things. Today, it seems like we're all isolationists. Kind of like the whole system's changed up. So I feel like something at one time may have been better. I don't know if it's much better, but it just seems like maybe the existence here wasn't so suffering. Didn't feel like,
Sure.
crap all the time.
Okay. Ryan, what are your thoughts on that?
I tend to think
Close to the mic, please.
so far I've tended to
Why don't
think
you
that
pass that mic over to Ryan? Because let's just share that mic because it's the levels are low.
I admit I haven't given thought to that particular facet of the soul trap, but my
Close
thoughts,
to the mic, please.
my thoughts tend to be that the construct that we're in has generally been the same. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, that's just sort of my general thoughts at the time. I mean, I'm very much open to hearing other perspectives and kind of exploring more on my own.
Okay, yeah. My opinion is, I mean, I hope the audio is choppy. Okay, both people. Okay, all right. Yeah, I think maybe take. Yeah, did you take the windscreen off that? Okay, yeah.
Test, test, 1,
Let's
2.
keep one more. Go ahead, Dave.
Test, test, 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better. Go ahead. One more
How about
time.
now? Does this sound okay? Hopefully.
I think you guys just need to talk close and into the. I'm sorry. Like, this is the first time we've ever done this, guys. Yeah, I would take the. I think we should maybe work with one mic because the two very choppy. Eli says my audio is choppy. Hold on. Let me check mine. Please hold. Can I see your phone, Dave? All right, it sounds fine. All right, okay, all good. Thanks, Dusty. Hey, Jay, good to see you. Hey, Chan. Oops, there. Hey. All right, so yeah, I think let's work with the one mic and just talk close. That's the best way we can approach it. I think Dave's mic maybe.
This one sound okay? What do you think? This one sound okay, or do you want to go higher?
Ryan, try that, please. I'm sorry,
Test,
guys.
test. Test, test.
Yeah, let's use Ryan's. Whatever. Let's get rid of that one in the middle. Yeah. we tested this beforehand, but of course, nothing ever works out properly. Okay, thanks. All right, so we're just make sure you shut off that other mic that we have. Okay. All right. So so Earth being hijacked. This is like one of the big questions that I get regularly on the channel in the comment section, and I'm sure across others who discuss the soul trap as well. It's a really big one. My opinion is it's a mixed bag. Like I don't discount it. I don't like endorse it either. Like at the same time, I'm like kind of in the middle. Like it's one of those questions where you don't know, you don't have enough evidence to support a certain claim. But there's some compelling arguments as well. So what if this place functions as designed, right? If the place we call home, Earth, whatever the heck you want to call it, Parasiteville, what if it's always been like this? And if our history and our existence is erased and messed with every X amount of years or centuries or decades, whatever the heck it is, right? We don't know, right? But we got to say it's at least over, I don't know, 150, 200 plus years minimum. But I would probably go on a little bit further than that. There's evidence to suggest that this realm has been through the ringer. A lot of the what we would call ancient architecture, you see burn marks all over these things, and it's consistent. It's there's no denying it. Like if it's almost every freaking building you look at, you see burn marks out there. So what happened to cause that? And it's so widespread that it suggests a reset. It suggests something on a massive scale that impacted humanity, and it didn't discriminate where and when it fell, or where and when it hit, let's say. So I think there's a lot of assumptions as far as the whole thing goes with Earth being hijacked. At the same time, I don't discount it. So I'm kind of on the fence about the whole thing. But I feel like this place runs as it's intended, and whatever that may be, it may be. So, does anyone kind of expand on that on their own thoughts? I'm curious what everybody thinks. Feel free. Whoever wants to take the mic.
Like, can you hear me?
Good. Yep, you're perfect. Yep.
Well, like I said, just to expand on a little bit more, like there's no way, like you said, there's no way really to prove, kind of like what happened here. But there's a large amount of evidence that looks like something. And again, if the majority of the people, who had the knowledge that were here at one point are kind of disappeared, whoever was left behind, whoever came to claim this after the fact, would install or do whatever they want to and say whatever they want to and develop a society however they wanted to. So there's no way to really know how we got here. I mean, all we can do is basically go off of what it is now, which is not great. Was it better before? I mean, it looks like, I don't know, historically, it just looks, the building. I mean, I keep going back to that. It's just, you look at some of the ancient buildings and what they did, and we can't do that today. And it's just like, what are we missing? What technologies are we missing today that they had then? So if we're so much more better today, it's like, something's missing. There's like a huge gap in history.
Yeah.
It seems like we're not like on the same timeline or something. Something happened, but I don't know where we are.
Sure. No, I think that's a good point. Good point. Yeah. Dawn, Ryan.
I mean, I obviously can't prove anything, and I really don't know, but my gut feeling is that everything is just going according to plan. Everything is exactly how it was designed to go.
And again, I haven't given a lot of thought to this particular aspect of whole trap prison thing, but I do feel like there's most likely always been suffering lopsidedly here. That's I'm sort of like what Donna said. That's kind of my gut feeling, but yeah, I mean there are things we can't ignore to suggest that some interesting things may have happened in the very distant past. So I mean, who knows for sure? I'm not gonna say definitively one way or another. I'm not 100% sure. That's just sort of my gut.
Okay. Okay. Guest audio is cutting in and out. Everyone's cutting in and out. Uh, not. That's not how this was arranged. I'm sorry. What did you say? Well, let me check. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if Hold on. Hold on. Let me get rid of Try this. This might fix it. All right. All right. Talk in the mic, please.
How does this sound? Does it sound a little bit better, everybody?
Looks fine to me on my end.
How does it sound out there?
Says my audio's fine. Okay, what about the guest? Dave just spoke.
Yeah, this is Dave speaking right now. How does this sound, everybody? Sound okay?
How's Dave's audio? Can I see your phone, Dave? Sorry, guys. One moment, guys. All right, everything's fine with the audio, and we're moving forward. All right. Okay. So, all right. So, yeah, I know, right? We might as well start from the beginning at this point. It's been interrupted so many times. Trying to make it right. I've never done this before, guys, so I'm sorry. No, this is not a replay. This is a live stream. All right. So, Earth being hijacked. I mean, we went over it. You know, I mean, the audio looked pretty clean to me, but there was quite a few saying it wasn't. So, whatever it is, it is. The what ifs is the big question, right? I mean, this is something we've had deep conversations about in the past, and I think it's a big one. So, the what ifs. What if this? What if that? What if I, you know, die and go down the tunnel into the light? Or what if I do this? Or what if I do that? Or what if, great grandpappy Winston appears and, wants to take me down to the tunnel into the light? What am I going to do? This is a big question, and Dawn, we've talked about this quite a few times. So you want to kind of touch on that, like the what ifs it's a big comment that happens on the channel and in the Discord and the members Discord. So what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think it's natural for people to have some questions about what will happen, because none of us really truly know
Mm-hmm.
what's
Yep.
going to go down. But I do see some people doubting themselves about their powers, and I've seen people make remarks such as, "Oh, maybe I have to retrieve soul fragments before I can leave because I'm scattered around in different realms." And I've heard all kinds of things. Or what if I accidentally go through the tunnel and it's too late, and they show me then maybe it's too late. What can I can? There's a lot of commentary out there that a lot of people just doubting themselves, and the way it doesn't matter. It's just this is how I see it. It's all about just knowing that you have the power. It's all
Yep.
about you, and you can decide. You don't want to come back. You can decide. You don't want to talk to any entities or dead loved ones, and that's it. You don't have to do a life review. Who cares about a tunnel? You get hit with the love bomb. I just feel deep down that at least some of us will know exactly what to do, and there's really nothing to worry about.
Yeah, that's too. It's I think it's going to come natural to us. I think we're going to be able to go right into our essence and feel comfortable. What the Matrix relies on is us being ignorant, us falling into the cycle of the same old, which could be reincarnating, which could be being attached to our friends, our family, our pets, whoever. It doesn't, our guides, the council, all these different things. It stacks on one another over and over and over again. And the question is, are you able to bypass all of that? Are you able to say, hey, look, I love my family, I love my friends, I love my pets, I love whoever, right? I've had a good run. It's been fun and horrible at the same time. But it's time for me to take control of me and not fall into the trap of material existence, right? Or like in the in between existence, the life between lives phase that comes with this whole charade, right? That's the difference. How confident are you in you? And I think if you have the what if this, the what if that mentality, you're kind of and this is just my opinion, you're kind of opening up your the floodgates to something taking control of you. And it's not your organic self. It's that it's reliant upon something exterior to you that can control you. It's not a sovereign intention. It's not a sovereign direction. It's a it's a it's an attachment based directive that is based in worry or based in confusion in the what if. So that's kind of my opinion on it. And that's why I talk about the strong inner knowing and how important that is. It's like the strong inner knowing in about the mechanics and how this place works is so important. And the evidence is out there. Like the information's out there. You can find it for yourself. You don't need my channel. And you can see it in action all the time. And taking that information and seeing, in my opinion, the deception for what it is crucial, because then what you're doing is you're taking the power that the Matrix is putting out there, and then you're flipping it on its face and you're saying, screw you. And you're taking back you. And that you has to be, in my opinion, a sovereign directive. That's just my opinion. You know, like everybody kind of has their own opinions on what they got to do and what they want to do and all that, but don't ever like live in fear. Just don't. Don't live in fear. Don't live in the what if reality, because all that's going to do is open up the floodgates for all sorts of potential matrix interference. So, yeah, exactly. Screw the demiurge. Mom's not ready. Oh yeah. So, Boopster, good to see you. This is something actually that was brought up tonight. That when we were talking, Boop says, "I don't know. How are you supposed to gather soul fragments? Is that like gathering kindling? Isn't that crazy?" Yeah, she brought up the same question we were talking about tonight. Go ahead.
It's funny,
Go ahead, Don.
Boopster.
Go ahead, Don.
No, that's it. I thought that was a funny comment.
Yeah.
I like it.
And you're supposed to like die on a certain angle, right? Yeah, we're supposed to pass out and die in a certain angle in a certain direction, you know, facing the sun and the moon and Sirius or whatever, right? I mean, like and if you don't die in that certain direction, well, you're fucked, you know. I mean, do you realize how ridiculous that sounds? Just think about how ridiculous that is.
You go through the tunnel. You accidentally, you don't realize you're going through the tunnel, and you finally determined that, oh my goodness, I'm outside the tunnel. I've made it all the way through. I didn't want to, but I did. I got through the tunnel. The light's there. Oh no, it's too late. What do? I can't do anything. I'm stuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good attitude either.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a question from Rico that said, or not a question, but a statement. Rico says, "My mom is still defending God, and when I bring up how the Bible is explaining how insane God is, she can't comprehend." I mean, that's a big one, and a lot of people are impacted by that, right?
I empathize.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian. I know like your mother's kind of down that.
Just very much that I empathize.
Yeah, yeah. It's a real problem, but you know, one of the things that we talk about, or at least that I put out there, it's like, you know, everyone has their moment, and I think everybody has to eventually get to a certain point in their existence within this matrix where their true essence has had enough. And that may not be this lifetime. It may not be next lifetime. It may not be 10, 20, 30, 40, 1,000 lifetimes from now. Because everyone has their own moment on when they are going to take back their sovereignty. their true essence fully and say, enough is enough. That's the difference. In that, in my opinion, right? I mean, again, like I tell you guys, I don't pretend to have all the answers, but I think the sovereign intention is the only answer that makes sense given, as Dan would say, the totality of the information, right? It really seems pretty clear cut. And when you could kind of test intention in the astral or something through something like an OBE or a breakthrough trip, you can see it in action in how you're able to apply it on your own. So it's not just me speaking out of my ass and saying, hey, trust me, believe me. No, this is something you can actually prove for yourself and experience and say, hey, wow, FC is not bullshitting. It's true. Now, is it going to work perfectly, every single time, like especially in the beginning? No. Like it's kind of weird because when we're first experiencing something like that, we're really curious. We want to explore. We have curiosity, right? And that famous phrase, curiosity killed the cat, is really valid in this point because it's something new and different and something that we forgot. It's something that we haven't experienced before. But we only haven't experienced it because we forgot what that is. But then once you kind of like get the training wheels off, kind of like when you're a child and you got the bike and, mom or dad takes off the training wheels, you're able to experience things with more confidence. And that confidence, in my opinion, leads to realizing how powerful intention is as a creator being, which we all are. Nobody's special. Nobody's more powerful than the other. We're all just creator beings down here, and we've been fucked with, and that's it, right? And it's time for us to take back control of ourselves as individuals. But at the same time, everybody's on their own journey. So mom, dad, the dog, the cat, the rabbit, whatever you got, right? The squirrel, the bird, whatever, whatever you got going on at your house, your cousins, your brother, your sister. It doesn't matter. It's all the same stuff. Like they're on their own journey, just like we are on our own journey. Go ahead, Dave. What were you gonna say?
We're not.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I see a really good question here in the
Yeah,
chat.
go for it.
Otto Librador says, here's a question. We seem to agree that they require our consent to be recycled, even if it is tacitly acquired. So what compels them to adhere to that rule? That's a very good question. Why are they adhering to a certain rule? Why do we have the rule? All the rules here in this realm.
Why do we have the rule of consent? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, please do. Yeah. Who put it out there?
Otto Librador says, here's a question. We seem to agree that they require our consent to be recycled, even if it is tacitly acquired. So what compels them to adhere to that rule? That is an excellent question. I mean, we don't have the answer per se, but we can have some ideas about it.
Trying to find it. Oh, I got it. Auto Liberator. Okay, hold on. Let me pin this. All right, here's a question. We seem to agree that there's required our consent to be recycled, even if it's tactically acquired. So what compels them to adhere to the rule? It's a good question. It really is. I think, see, like in the beginning of this channel, I was talking a lot about consent. And the more I thought about it, I think it still kind of classifies as the same thing. I think intention is key. And what they do is they take our intention, aka consent, which is ingrained and pushed on us from a young age while we're here. And because we're kind of trapped in the time realm, which is the earth realm, we fall into all sorts of belief systems. And then that is customized and used against us when we leave here. I mean, so that's kind of my opinion. And I'm not even sure if it's necessarily a rule, right? Um I think it I think I think a rule is an interesting phrase to put out there because at the same time it also involves our attention, our awareness to our surroundings when we're here because what we experience and are attentive to here has, it's a harsh word, but repercussions when we are dying. And how that kind of plays itself out later on and in following lifetimes is pretty big. So I don't know. That's kind of how I'd phrase it. What do you guys think?
Well, it's interesting because just earlier tonight, not even an hour ago, maybe we were watching the clip of Star Trek Coda.
Yeah, Coda. Yeah,
Coda,
the
that
episode
clip
Coda,
that's
yeah.
very popular in the community
Mm-hmm.
of the captain not knowing she's dying,
The
doctor,
fake father.
yeah, the fake father coming and saying he's going to escort her to the afterlife, the Matrix, as he calls it. Yes, and it's anything she wants it to be, and is full of wonder and all that. But she notices that the more he pushes, it becomes clear to her that he needs her consent.
Yes.
He can cajole her in many different ways, but he needs that consent, even if it's just something as simple as saying yes. Who knows?
Yep.
I mean, we don't know exactly how the system works, but there does seem to be a component there of consent, and I think that's interesting. And Peter Jennings says how to get into the group chat. We're actually, you guys, we're
In
together in real
person.
life.
Yeah.
We're sitting at a table here in a dining room, and we've just been hanging out, all of us. So let me pass it over to Ryan.
Well, I mean, everyone here has said it very, very well. I just want to generally add that I feel very fortunate to have kind of been introduced to the truth of the soul trap through on here and FC and his channel because of that whole component of the firm inner knowing and not doubting our sovereignty and our power because I know that clearly is an issue for many, many people. And I don't know, I like many of us, I was primed from childhood basically to be subservient to something, someone, like many of us with our backgrounds with religion, that's kind of what it does to us. Uh, so to have that personal revelation and not have that doubt kind of from the onset of my introduction and my personal awakening uh, has just been, I feel that I just feel very fortunate to have come in through these people because, because of these people that have introduced me to it, I haven't really gone through that period of doubting myself, and I'm just very, very thankful that I haven't because it's been so liberating to realize that I don't have to doubt myself. I don't have to be inferior. I don't have to be subservient. And as Mark says, it really is all about intention. I do firmly believe that. I think that's the key. And just we don't have to doubt ourselves. We can act, just take our own sovereignty into our own hands, carry that through, all the way through. And I just really hope people take heart and just really hold on to that, because I think that is the most powerful truth. That is like Mark always says, the non-interference, sovereignty, liberation. That is the ultimate liberation. To really realize that, really hold on to that, and understand that. Just really believe that. If you believe that, they're not going to be able to, wheedle your consent out of you in some kind of manipulative way, no matter what they throw at you.
I know. It sounded good when I was listening, but yeah, I mean the audio is chopping. Sorry, guys. I mean, yeah. How about yeah? Let's take 5 minutes, and I'll be right back. We're gonna be doing tests in the background. Um, what a bummer. Everything looks fine audio level wise. That's what's weird to me. Everything looks fine on my end, but and when I check it, it sounds fine too. But maybe I'm just checking moments when it's okay, and then it goes off. So I will be right back. Give us about at least 5 minutes, but it might be a little bit longer. I'm gonna put the countdown clock up there, and if things change and it goes a little longer, I'll be sure to let you know. You know, right before the 5 minute clock ends. Okay. So hang in there. We're gonna be doing audio tests in the background, and we'll see you shortly. Thank you.
Sorry. Now we're on. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Pretty good. It's not loud, but music.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3. Try this one more time. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Stick with that one mic. Test 1, 2. Yeah, shut off that other mic if it's on. Okay, shut it off. Yeah, we're gonna stick with one mic. My mic is blowing off the charts. Yeah, it does, but It's still should be listening to what OBS is out there. Well, yeah, I mean OBS handles. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I use OBS for almost everything. Test, test, test. All right, just speak into that mic real quick. Thank you. It's always something, I swear. Every fucking time. Alright. Alright, guys, so what we're gonna do. Why is my mic slamming here? Let's see. Test 1, 2. Alright, so what we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna take about 5 minutes more, and we'll be right back. I think we have it pretty well figured out. So we'll be back in 5 minutes. Just whatever you see on the countdown clock is when we'll be back. Thank you. All right, everybody. We're going to attempt to come back. All right. Test, 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 test. My mic seems high. Why does it not? All right. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. All right. That's good enough. Looks all right. All right. Thank you. All right, guys. We're coming back. Just as a reminder, this channel is for educational or perhaps entertainment purposes only, whichever the law would prefer. It's always important to do your own research to come up with your own conclusions. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. So, sorry for the technical difficulties with the mic. We are going to work with one mic tonight, and hopefully there will be no problem. Except the music's still playing. So, thank you, Black Uni. Good to see you. Pearson, good to see you, my friend. Okay. All right. So, looks like we're okay. I think we should go back to the what if question. It's probably one of the biggest questions I get on the channel. Well, what if this? What if that? Like, what if I do this, or what if I end up flying down the tunnel, or what if I end up at the light and this and that? And I feel like, kind of like what we were touching upon earlier, it's giving away your power preemptively. What you're kind of doing is opening the floodgates for the Matrix to say, hey, this motherfucker has doubt, and I'm going to take advantage of it. So, I think it's a dangerous mindset. That's just my opinion. You know, again, make of it what you will. Do your own research, come up with your own conclusions. But how confident are you in you? That's the key question to ask yourself. Do you feel that you need to seek validation, or to have something confirm something for you that you may or most likely already know, which is that you are a sovereign being, you are a creator being, you aren't a grain of sand on the beach, you aren't worthless or hopeless or this or that, but that you have and hold and yield way more power than the Matrix wants to give you credit for. So I don't know, like, we bounce off that idea again one more time, guys, because I think it's a really important one. And you know, we were having mic issues, so let's see how we're doing over there with that mic. Oh, hold on. One more time, Dave. One more
Testing.
time, Dave.
Hello,
Okay, yeah,
hello?
we're good. We're good. We're good.
Good now?
Yep.
Okay. Everybody hear me okay? Hopefully.
Everybody hear Dave okay? In the chat,
let's
just
see.
let us know.
Okay.
See, the thing is, levels.
I'll just start talking. Everybody just let me know if it starts to sound really bad, okay? Just kind of spinning off this a little bit, looking this in the kind of like the immediate, okay? If you work on anything in this life, whatever it is, if you bicycle, if you hike, if you jump, the more you work on it, the more you focus on it, the better you get at it. So obviously, if you take that and just kind of like focus that in on yourself, start focusing on yourself, sitting with yourself, meditating with yourself, kind of getting more confident in the fact that you have something more powerful than anything that could even come into competition with you. You just have to believe it. And the only way you're going to ever believe it is by sitting with yourself and kind of like bathing in that disgust of I don't know. But the more you sit, the more you start to build confidence in the fact that you actually do have the answer, because you can kind of do some magical things here if you focus on them. So obviously, if you can do that kind of magic here, you can do that magic anywhere. Just remembering what you forgot. And once you do that, I think you'll be okay. I think that's kind of like the way I view.
Sound is great. Everybody says
Oh, Dave, you said that so perfectly. Some of us just are happen to not doubt ourselves, but for many of us who do, uh, I think exactly what you said. You just have to, you know, take the time to work on that firm inner knowing while you're here, for your last time, and get to the point where you know, accept and realize fully and really believe your own sovereignty and not doubt that, so that you don't carry any doubt over. Uh, it's something to accept and don't feel confident enough to act on that power that they intrinsically have. I think we all do, absolutely. And it's a definitely endeavor, but a very, very important one. We're going to complete our last time journey through to the end.
that's well said, Ryan. Well said. Um, yeah, thank you, John. You want to? No problem. We can move on. Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on. I think this kind of links into part of the topic about paranoia. The what if question links into the paranoia because what that does is it creates doubt. It creates there's something about the human experience that really takes us away from who and what we are. And this system is fucking amazing at doing that. And what that does is it creates doubt, but it creates paranoia sometimes too. And it links beautifully into the what if question. And then because of the way the meat suit is designed, it can harbor that paranoia. And that paranoia can continually cascade upon itself, if that makes any sense. And you know, I'm just gonna say it. It really breaks my heart to see comments like that. I'm not saying I don't understand it or understand it, but it's really something that it hits my inner core because I feel as often as I try to convey the message of sovereignty and intention and non-interference and that you can prove it to yourself, those who may have trouble getting to that point and experiencing something like that so that they can prove it to themselves isn't always perfect. It isn't always easy to achieve. And so it can take away that power that you're seeking. And then it can kind of tumble down into something like paranoia. And especially like if you've got a lot of shit going on in your life, if things are going bad, it kind of just compounds itself. And though these comments are very, very difficult on my end to witness, and it's not and trust me, I'm talking about this because I care. Like it's not um it's not something that you just want to be able to like transfer experiences. You want to be able to transfer knowledge and all sorts of things to those who have difficulty. And again, this isn't like, oh, I'm better than you or we're all better than you and this, that. No, it has nothing to fucking do with that. I'm sitting at a table right now where like we're all a group that have mixed experiences, and everyone's kind of had their own thing going on and doing their own thing, and that's it, right? Like nobody's situation or experience is any better than yours or mine or anybody, right? It's like we're all just sitting here and trying to make sense of this insane asylum that we reside in. This temporary insane asylum that we live in. Um but like kind of like what we were talking about a little bit earlier, like you need to die at a certain you know degree, a certain angle, to in order to leave this place. That's all bullshit, right? I mean, and I'm not going to name names or kind of go into details as to where that information comes from, but it comes from multiple sources. From a soul trap community, it also comes from um, Buddhist, Hindu scriptures. I mean, so it's not new information, but that information has been taken and twisted and distorted as to for it to be fact. And it's like none of that fucking matters. I'm sorry, it just doesn't matter. It's all hogwash. I always like that word, hogwash. It's a good word, right? Yeah. And so, um, just do you guys. Just do you. But don't allow paranoia to set in and make you feel worthless or that you're not capable or able to take back your essence, your true essence in all its glory. I mean, that sounds kind of, you know, whatever, right? I mean, it just is what it is. Anyways, I'm just throwing that out there. Like the paranoia thing, I mean, it links right in with the what ifs. So feel free to step in, and if you guys want to say anything, love to hear from you.
When you say paranoia, what do you mean exactly what you're talking about as far as soul trap? Like what what are people paranoid specifically about?
Well,
All the what ifs are we talking about?
well, at least a lot of the comments that I've seen, they're afraid of like their family members or relatives or loved ones or ancestors or somebody kind of like basically taking them and saying, "Hey, this is how it is. Like this, you've got to, come with me. This is the bottom line, whether you like it or not, and that they have no choice." But that's just like one part of it. It gets multifaceted because paranoia can sprout from many things, and it really links into the whole what if category. I mean, like these two are kind of combined. Um, but I mean, like that's just one example. I mean, there's there's a few.
I guess the best way I try to look at this, maybe this can help some people. I don't know. I try to look at the human person as basically like a cell phone. The more apps that you download, the more basically things that you put on that phone, the more complicated that phone gets. And the reason why is because now you have to deal with all of the other things that those apps bring into that phone, whether you like them or not. And they could be good things, they could be bad things, but they're going to be things nonetheless. And those are just going to be more distractions that hide you from the original purpose of what the heck it is you were supposed to be focusing on to begin with. So the more you get caught up in this thing, the more you attach to this thing, the more you to anything, even if it's your family for that matter. They're all designed. They're all programs being run at a certain point to kind of get. Just think of it in that term. If it's another program being run, another program being run. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get attached to it. Doesn't mean you're not going to love it. Then it doesn't mean. But again, at the end of the day, it's just being run against you. Okay. Maybe you ran it against you. You have no idea. The bottom line is that you can stop it if you believe you can. That's just the way I can.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I like what Mr. Savage put in the chat. He says, "Trust nothing." I mean, uh, one thing this reality has proved is that you should not trust anything. And that doesn't mean that you don't trust your loved ones and you enjoy your time while you're here. You make the best of things while you're here. It just means that when it's time to go at natural death, that you're not going to blindly agree and trust anyone or anything. Because there is, in my opinion, a preponderance of evidence to suggest that those who feel they are dealing with family members, deceased loved ones, friends, family, pets, whatever, right? The council, the guides, all this stuff, right? There's enough evidence to suggest that that data should not be trusted wholeheartedly. And even if it could be trusted in 90% of that information could be trusted, given what you have witnessed, what you've experienced in this realm, would you want to gamble on that 10%? Would you want to take that 10% and say, yeah, well, the other 90% is love and light, when it's fucking not, right? I mean, it's like, I'm being generous by saying 90% is absolutely amazing in this realm. When it's not, it's just not. It's just not. Okay, let's be honest. It's probably doesn't even fall in the 50 percentile. It's probably below that. Okay, and this realm seems to feel and think that it can get away with some sort of bullshit narrative that, or perception. I don't even say narrative, but a perception that you are going to put up with copious amounts of bullshit so that you can kind of keep going, and it's going to tug on your heartstrings on the way out and leading up to your way out. Like things with deathbed visions, visitations, and all that stuff, and shared death experiences. It's incredible how much that can kind of impact someone for the rest of their lives. Not to mention NDEs, right? I mean, but if you have someone who is a friend, family member, someone very close to you, then you're able to and you care about them. Like, the Matrix has a way of kind of like sticking its big fat ass in front of your face and trying to wiggle its tits in front of your face and think that it's able to, like seduce you. And you know what? It's one. All right. Does that sound right? I mean, I'm sorry. It's shoving its big fat tits in your face, and it thinks that it's going to win you over. Okay? I'm sorry. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All that stuff, after a while, a rack's a rack. Some are bigger, some are smaller. Some are fluffier, some are firmer. I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Get on mic. Anyways, I mean, maybe I'm getting a little too blunt here, but we've had a few beverages tonight, so. What was that, Don?
Black Uni's comment.
Oh. Yeah, Matrix ass. Yeah, exactly. Matrix ass. Matrix titties, all that stuff. I wonder if this one will get taken down. Probably will. Probably get the authorities after me, the YouTube authorities. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Once you get a certain age, you kind of see. All right. Anybody want to chime in? Kind of a weird
It's hard to-
insertion point.
It's hard to think.
It's not the best segue, right?
When I think of paranoia, I also think about not just in our community, there tends to be, well, it's kind of a subculture. We know that. I mean, it's definitely
Sure.
a subculture.
I think
And there
that
are
exists in every
subcultures.
culture, right?
Yes, within the subcultures.
A culture
The
within a
truther-
subculture, yeah.
truther community, there tends to be paranoia in general in life too.
Sure.
Take this whole spirituality. I mean, I don't know. I have to admit, I've been through periods in my life where I would look at an item and think, that could have a camera in it.
Mhm.
Or things happening in nature. It's talking to me in some way. And I don't think that's necessarily paranoid. That's actually
It's very
something
true.
that happens.
But
if
it's also a hook.
If it's making you feel bad, if it's making you feel afraid, that's when you need to step back and say, okay, it doesn't need to affect me the way it's trying to affect me. So when it comes to paranoia, the old saying, what is the old saying? Something like, if you know you're crazy, or the crazy people don't know they're crazy. The people who are not crazy think they're crazy.
Yeah.
And so, every time I've had those types of thoughts, I recognized them, but I also knew that there was something to them. It wasn't just me being paranoid. Especially with nature. I've seen signs in nature that really seem like they were talking to me big time.
They
So
were
I know
getting
a
pretty
lot of
dirty, weren't they?
Huh?
Nature was getting pretty dirty, wasn't it?
So I'm sure a lot of you guys have gone through that kind of stuff. And I mean, if it makes you feel good or if it makes you feel neutral, that's fine. But if it makes you feel afraid in any way, it's okay to just step back and say that I don't let this affect me in that way. And
Yeah. That's it.
if you recognize your paranoia, that's a good sign that you're not losing it. 'Cause a lot of us sometimes we question our sanity.
Yeah. Well said.
That's my 2
Well said.
cents.
Exactly right. I think it all comes down to feeling like it wants us to feel that our power's slipping, and the paranoia definitely factors into that when we experience that. And so, again, like Mark always says, it comes down to our sovereignty, recognizing that, trying to live that, act on it. And if we don't feel it, then, like Dave said, meditate on that, sit with yourself, decide that, and, prove that to yourself every day, throughout, the rest of our time. If it's something you need to work on, then work on it. That paranoia, while there's certainly definitely reasons for, like Don said, for us to, question things, and we should question things, but when it comes to, like she said, if it makes us feel less powerful, less sovereign, that's obviously we're being undermined, and we don't want that. None of us want that. That's the key. So yeah, don't let your power slip away.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Dave, you have anything to kind of add there?
Well, I was just thinking, I mean, just think about this. Let's just take a step back a minute, okay? You don't know how you got here, number one, but you're doing this right now, okay? So you're doing this thing right now, okay? That's pretty damn powerful if you think about it. I mean, you're doing it. You don't know how you're doing it, but you're doing this. And that's pretty fucking amazing. I mean, that's just, it's happening. So obviously you got more power than you really know. This place obviously has so many different distractions and limitations to it, but that's just kind of like a mask to get you distracted to keep coming back to this thing. It's like just focus on yourself, focus on the power that you really have. That's again, I know I'm going all over the place with this, but still, I think that's the main key with all of this. You'll have more confidence in your decision making when you kind of start sitting with yourself more often, start realizing that you actually can kind of channel things towards a certain direction. If you focus on something, there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to get better at whatever you focus on. That's
Hmm.
just it.
Oh, that's a good point. And it kind of applies to a lot of things in life, right? And if you think about yourself as a creator being and how you're able to influence things, even though it's more or less instantaneous. If you think about how life is here, yeah, if you concentrate your intention into certain things, you will improve upon those things. You may not be an expert in those things because of the inherent limitations within the matrix system, but once you leave here, or if you have an OBE, or if you have a breakthrough trip, you will be able to experience intention and creative abilities manifest themselves in real time and witness them to your firm, strong inner knowing, so that it's there's no doubting them. But at the same time, if you don't have those experiences, that's all right. But just know that there's something beyond this, and that you are not a grain of sand on the beach. You're not a worthless speck of sand on the beach, however it was termed in school, right? I mean, like, that was something I grew up with and I've talked about a lot. My schooling loved to push upon me that I was basically worthless, like I'm just nothing, like it. And then you find out decades later, like, no, hell, we're all these creator beings. And it's not some fucking ego trip. It's not. It's just that, hey, nobody's better than anyone else. We're all on equal footing, but we've been conned. We've been taken for a fucking ride. And
What do you tell a superhero who has amnesia? You're
yeah,
not powerful.
well said. Well said. Well said. Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. So, what do we do, right? We take our power back, and that's it. And there's been plenty of people I've spoken with over the years who haven't even had one OBE yet. It's okay. It'll happen. And sometimes there's factors involved, substances and life things going on that kind of take us away from having that ability. Trust me, I'm guilty of that. I've experienced that for a number, not many years, but a number of years, enough years that um, it took me away from me. And then when I kind of relieve myself from those crutches, I was able to have OBs again, or lucid dreams, or AP, whatever, right? Like, and that's okay, right? I think our society is really hell bent on crucifying everybody who has crutches here. It's like, how dare you work a 8, 10, 12 hour day and come home and smoke pot? Or how dare you, work a 8, 10, 12 hour day, 40, 50, 60 hour week and come home and have a few beers, or, like, no, I mean, like, that's what makes this place fucking bearable sometimes. And sometimes we go through those phases and, we weave in and out of them, or sometimes they're long term addictions. But, like, addiction's an interesting thing in and of itself. It really is, because I look back at my life and it's always, I've had some fucked up moments in my life. I really have, where I was really, really deep in addiction, and with alcohol, marijuana, even acid when I was really young, and it's a crutch, But like when you're younger, you don't even really realize it. You don't realize you're trying to escape. And as you grow older, I think if you're being honest with yourself, you realize the crutch that it is. And you try to like work with it. It doesn't mean that you have to eliminate it. It doesn't mean that you have to stop smoking pot or drinking beers or wine or whatever the hell you're doing, right? It just like, like if you work 40, 50, 60 hours a week and you're just trying to get by and existence is still kind of shitty, whatever, right? Oh, God forbid you have a fucking drink. God forbid you take an eighth of mushrooms and try to fucking leave your body. God forbid. You evil motherfucker, you. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but you know what I'm saying? It's like who gives a shit, right? Who cares? Just have fun, enjoy yourself. But, like at the same time, try to pay your bills. Try to do whatever you got to do to exist
Yeah.
until the meat suit expires.
Don't take on too much nonsense that's unnecessary.
Yeah.
And then complain about the nonsense you
Yeah.
took on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like I said, some people stack all those things on for no reason. It's like, why do that? Why do that? Why get caught up more into the thing that you already hate? Like I said, just focus on yourself. If it's not improving your life, get rid of it. That's it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be negatively impacting your life to the point where you're on the street. Like there should be some level of comfort and protection that you have in the here and now and in the near future. Like long-term future, I'm going to be honest, I'm not some sort of long-term planner. I really don't give a shit. But at the same time, like I try to have a general protection plan, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Whatever. Go ahead, guys. Feel free to chime in.
I mean, we had so many technical difficulties early on. I'm not sure if we cover Earth hijack. Earth hijack. Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We covered it, but we can talk about it again.
I guess I missed what you said. What did you say about is Earth hijacked? Do you remember?
You're throwing it back on me. She's fucking. She's. Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
No, one thought I had related to the like the what you were just discussing there with the substances and I kind of think that ties into what we were kind of conditioned to feel guilty kind of by the extreme moralism of many religions that we may have been brought up in. And, we can kind of defeat that or temper it with pragmatism. You don't have to go all in one direction or the other. You can simply be pragmatic with your own life, your own needs. And like you say, we can enjoy our last time here, but also, behave responsibly. So, it's doesn't have to be all black and white. We're kind of, I don't know, so many of us are ingrained with that. To me, it's kind of an extreme moralism. A false construct of strict, rigid moralism by, whatever deity it happens to be. So that's just kind of how I think of that. It just made me think of that topic.
That was great, Ryan. That was really good. Anybody else want to kind of bounce off that or? Okay. All right. So yeah, I think that was a really good point. And there's this the way I look at something like addiction, doesn't matter what the substance is. I think addiction is suffering. Addiction is it's like a cornucopia of different shit going on. You have those who I'll just say it. They fucking hate it here, right? They are just trying to get through day to day, and numbing themselves out kind of provides that outlet. And then you have those who, work their ass off, try to be responsible, and let loose, however many days a month or year, whatever. Right? Um, but I think addiction really, especially like with alcohol and any sort of substance, it it gets to the point of someone being uh it makes reality a little more bearable sometimes. Maybe I'm repeating myself, I don't know. But it is. I mean, it is worth repeating because um you forget about the horrors of the world for a brief moment. And then there's some people who turn into fucking psychopaths. They beat their wives, they beat their husbands. They're uh verbally abusive and whatever, right? And that's because it stems off of certain traumas that they experience at a younger age, and perhaps they can't handle their abuse of certain substances. But at the same time, they're trying to escape the reality that they're in. But while they're in that same reality, they're treating others like shit, or they're having a good time. You know, it's either it kind of falls into those two categories. Um, I want to say more, but I'm not going to. Anyways, anyone want to jump in on this? Well, we're getting close to wrapping up, but that's all right. I just kind of want to leave.
We
How
had
about
a topic we discussed.
what happened? What the hell just happened?
I'm so glad you guys
Dawn wants to
didn't
make
see
out
what
with the
just
mic.
happened. But anyway,
I wish we had it on video.
we were talking earlier before we got on stream about how we all got into Forever Conscious Research Channel, how we discovered it and everything. And I thought it would be fun if we each of us talk about that, maybe. Starting with Dave.
Well, I found the channel by sheer accident. I think I was looking up an Eric Dubé video for something else. I don't know what it was, and it somehow got linked to Mark and his channel. Just so happened to come out shortly after my wife passed away, which I lost in 2023 from a fentanyl overdose. But I wasn't really looking for this kind of stuff, but I was always interested in it. And it just kind of fell in my lap. And from that point on, I just kind of just started watching, and everything kind of made sense. So that's why I ended up here.
I was really interested in all the big questions, all the philosophical questions we have, and I went through a period of consuming NDEs like crazy. And of course, back then when I was consuming all of these NDE stories, I thought it was so beautiful and so comforting. And oh, well, at least that's a comfort. When I die, everything's going to be so beautiful. And then somehow I stumbled on the Soul Trap, but it wasn't through Forever Conscious. It came later. When I stumbled on the Soul Trap, I thought to myself, the whole idea freaked me out, but it made so much sense. But it never occurred to me that there was a way out. I thought, oh my gosh, already life sucks, and then then they get you on the other end too. So all the beauty from the end that was gone. I was like freaked out, and I was already struggling with mental health issues. So then having to deal with that, oh my goodness. And then I happened to be watching a certain channel. I won't mention the name, but this person was somebody who talked about the soul trap, but not in a comforting way, not in a sovereign way. But he did talk up this strange channel called Forever Conscious Research Channel. And I was like, this guy was just throwing, oh, this channel, this guy da 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 da. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll check it out. And so I go to the channel, and the first thing I see is that every video is so freaking long. And I thought to myself, no way am I going to watch this stuff. But it didn't take long for me to get really hooked, and it didn't matter that they were long. I wanted them to go longer because I thought that his analysis of these NDEs, his focus on sovereignty, you're the way out. You rely on yourself. You can do it. Confidence building. And I really listened and I did my own research. And before long, the soul trap was no longer freaking me out. I was feeling more free than I'd ever felt. And I'm so glad that I came across FC.
Thanks.
Well, the way I came into this was through Dawn here initially. We're friends in real life, and at the time that uh, she began to kind of drop, basic tenet, the basic idea of this concept of the soul trap in our conversations. I was fresh from the process of deconstructing from Christianity. So, I had kind of been coming out of that, was still rather fresh out of that. So I was still, kind of like really fresh off letting go of that, the whole fear, guilt, shame thing. And so when she began to talk about this, I was just like, oh, okay, like, but why would, reincarnation be a bad thing? Because I didn't even used to believe in reincarnation as uh, basically a fundamentalist Christian. And then, through conversations with her more and more, I began to kind of grasp the concept. And I gradually was like, okay, no, it just started to make more sense as I, on my own journey, began to open up my mind. And, I did some basic occult exploration of, reading about different topics, nothing in extreme depth. But then, yeah, she, introduced me to Forever Conscious Research Channel. And I think one of the pivotal moments was kind of a combination of actually hearing when she was interviewed here, kind of her the My Journey to Awakening series with Dawn, True Detective, and also I got a shout out Harold's pre-birth memory that she had sent me. Discussion with Mark and Harold. That was a thing that really also helped kind of open my mind to like, wow, that was.
That's why like different voices are so important.
Mm-hmm.
Like here I think Harold is I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think Harold
No, yeah.
is a really good voice out there. Like I think he presents well.
Yes.
He's very articulate. He explains what happened to him, uh, and how he looks at things. By the way, Harold's channel, he's uploaded 2 videos recently, like within the last what, like couple weeks, something like that. Maybe yeah, maybe we can put that in the chat. We do that. But like
Yes, end of
I'm with you,
Agnoia.
Ryan. Like Harold,
Yeah, that
he's a good
was
guy. He's a really good guy.
even though like, I don't have pre-birth memories, I didn't experience that. It was still very powerful. Very powerful. Just yeah, that kind of helped seal my like understanding and like acceptance of it. That was when I really began to realize like, wow, this we are living in a prison construct, and it's all suffering. It's, pretty much all suffering and negative, and it really is just, we've been trapped here, and like Marco, I don't need to, that point. Yeah, so that was basically how I came to it. And, I, I think it was helpful to be to have a good friend kind of help me through that because a lot of people, it's very much a solitary journey. Yeah, so I'm very, I'm glad that it happened that way. But we all come to it our own way. and we're all on our own journey, our own sovereign path, and I'm just glad that I've come to realize it, to see this place for what it actually is. Because up until the last few years, it was all about fear, guilt, shame. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's David, hearing about your wife, and there's been others in the chat, and Boopster even mentioned she lost someone to fentanyl too. It's
It's a crappy way to lose somebody, but again, it kind of opens you up to a lot more what's kind of going on here too. I mean, like I said, it's just another program. It's just another one of those, like I said, one of those apps that you take on. That one unfortunately got the better of her. It's like I said, it's one of those really just sad things. I mean, again, it wasn't something that she did. It was something that a
happened.
friend offered or something like that, and before you know it, like I said, she just didn't know what she had, and it's kind of sad. But if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I wouldn't be able to talk about it. I wouldn't be able to share that kind of experience. Maybe stop somebody else from having it. You just never know. That's the thing. So it's just um,
Yeah.
it's just a lot of little weird things. It's just a lot
Yeah,
of weird things that
that's
happen.
isn't that
It's just
weird? Like
a lot of weird stuff.
yeah, I mean the comparisons or the synchronicities are wild. Um, but it's and like it's like I ask myself sometimes, like why the uptick in ODs, right? Like drugs weren't like this in the 90s. They just weren't. Um, and even the very early 2000s, they just weren't like this. Like this, you didn't have to worry about something like fentanyl or, I mean, research chemicals started to come around like in the 2010s or something like that, and I wanted nothing to do with that, like nothing. And then it just got worse and worse and worse and more fucked up and more fucked up, and a lot of it was legal, and then the government, quote unquote, had to catch up with the legal drugs because they didn't have the precursors of the substance that like they could test for, and then people are dying left and right, and it really didn't stop. Really didn't stop, and uh, you got to ask yourself why. Um, the whole like the one thing I've been a little skeptical on, and some people rake me on the coals for talking about this, and rightfully so. I mean, I get it. I mean, I some people are really kind of, they stand their flag on this, and I get it, but like the whole depopulation agenda thing, I'm not like I was on board with it for a long time, and it made sense. But I'm not as on board as I am now when I'm looking at the realm through kind of the loose lens. I have a hard time signing on to that. And maybe they need to do a certain amount. It sounds sick, but maybe they need to do like a certain amount of cleansing, so to say, in this realm. Maybe there is a certain amount that they need to kind of certain amount of humans that they need to kind of keep in and out of the system. I don't know. I have no clue. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah. Oh, or for whatever reason, maybe it overloads the programming in this fucking place. I don't fucking know. You know, what I mean, I don't know what it is. Yeah, I mean, it's clear that no matter what happens, they will always have the iron fist ready to go if you're in the meat suit. That much seems pretty clear. And I think there's like a historic narrative to suggest that. It doesn't matter whether there's 10,000 true essence beings here or 50 million, 50 billion, whatever the hell the number is, right? It seems like they're always, as long as they have their group in place, ready to go to kind of throw down orders to the minions, then it trickles down to us. They're, I hate to say it, but they're going to win. Like, it's just the very design of this place. And that's why I don't think any one individual or any group here can kind of like take it down, like when they go into the astral and pass. I think it would have happened already. I really do. Or anybody's thoughts. Yeah, yeah.
I think I managed to post a Harold's channel on Rumble, but I can't seem to do it. I'm having trouble posting on Odyssey.
Okay, I'll take care of it. I got it. Yep. So I mean, I think we're probably gonna wrap things up here soon. Maybe we'll go another 5-10 minutes at most. But Loosh has a lot of ramifications on many lives. And it extends its claws, especially through things like an addiction and overdose. Its tentacles kind of grow and expand through many people's lives, and that kind of loosh output can impact many. So it's not just the wife or the husband or the mother or the father or the son or the daughter. It has everlasting kind of consequences for the bloodline that is present when it happens. And maybe the Matrix has kind of felt that this is a way for it to kind of prove its loosh output. I mean, it's a fucked up conversation to have. I'm sorry, especially in front of you, Dave. But yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
Population control and things like that. It's like, but I think they've been lying to us about the population for a very, very long time anyway. I don't really know here, but even if they're slowly getting rid of some people, are they getting rid of people for what reason? I agree with you on the fact that the system is set up for the long game. I don't think that they're getting rid of people because they're trying to do something with this system. I think it's going to be here for a very long time now. What they're doing and why they're doing it, who knows? But yeah, it seems like they try to infiltrate in any way they can to try to attack. It's almost like put another program on you so that something else can draw more energy from you. It's like just adding one more thing on there, another item, to draw some more energy off you. And every time you do it, it just gets worse and worse. It's like the more you pile on, the more suffering. It's weird.
I don't know if it's a Depop thing, but maybe a reduction. Maybe they are trying to reduce. And I hesitant to mention it, so I'm just going to kind of spell it out a little. There was DEAG, started with DEAG. You know what I'm talking about? The 2025.
Yeah, the Deagle report.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
I
just-
was
go
afraid
ahead,
to
just
say it, but
it.
you said it
Fine.
right out. Okay.
Yeah, fuck it. Hey, if it's true, we're all fucked. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean the Deagle report. I mean, like, I don't know that. Okay, so in short, it's a military-industrial complex report that. I mean, I remember seeing. I don't even know at this point. Maybe 8 years ago, maybe even longer. I don't even know. And they talked about it's dark shit. It's really fucking dark. Yeah, it's really dark. Anyways, they talked about how certain countries, including the United States, parts of Europe, would have a drastic population reduction. And I mean, like, this is a company that's kind of been funded and by the government for a long time, and who knows what their predictions are and if they're true. We've talked about it a little bit on the channel in the past, but I really don't want to end the podcast on that kind of note, but it kind of came up, and here we are. It is what it is. Yeah, the Deco report. We're in the moment right now. We're in 2025. Maybe it's all bullshit. It probably is all bullshit because they're always adjusting their plans and tweaking things and casting fear on everybody. And what a way to kind of cast fear on people and get people asking questions to put out some report that's gonna bust out the population of multiple countries.
I just want them to bring the aliens.
Oh,
we talk about
yes.
this
Yes,
often.
that's
Let's
it.
bring the aliens.
That's it. We need the fake alien invasion. We do. Right, Ryan?
I would also like to have a big bucket of popcorn and see the aliens
That's right.
with all of you. I mean, with everything this Matrix puts us through, why shouldn't we get that kind of entertainment, I say?
Here, sir. Here. All right. With that, I think we'll close out our courtroom this evening. And I want to thank Dave, Dawn, Ryan. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night, last timers.
Aloha.
Yeah, we should have Billy perform. Sing hello, goodbye. All right. Thank you, everybody. It's been fun. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties that we had earlier, but I'm glad we were able to. What the hell is going on over there? I'm glad we were able to. Trying to close this thing out. All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you again soon. Thank you. Much love. Hopefully you got something out of this. We'll see you soon. Thank you. Wow.